Wilfred's rum shop leaned into the road like a rotten tooth. Inside, boards blackened by smoke and sweat, the air sweet with cane and forgetting. Coins meant for rice or kerosene slid across the counter and came back, white rum hot as apology. One drink opened the chest. 2 turned fear into courage's cheap cousin. 3 steadied the hand enough to write the future in invisible ink. She moved through that shop like heat through dry bush. They called her Zungi. Maybe it was a name. Maybe rain took a shape and decided to keep it. She had the kind of walking that made benches become men. Hair tumbling wild, a dress that caught and released light, laughter with iron under it. Eyes that skimmed and did not land as if what she wanted was elsewhere, and she had to pass through men to get there. Vishnu watched too long. The rum told him she noticed. The rum made spilled drink a signal, a brush of hand a promise, a sorry whispered near his ear in invitation. Zungi never looked back. The rum said she didn't need to. After that,
wow.
I'm thinking of submitting this to Granta. What do you think?
Have a good chance. They're competitive.
I hear.
I feel in my gut that you have a real shot. So that was Jameer Nazir, winner of the Commonwealth Prize for his story, The Serpent in the Grove. Thank you for being here.
I'm here to embrace who I am and the truth of the matter, which is that I wrote this.
That's my first question. The authorship.
I'm not taking any questions at this time.
I mean, the people want to know whether.
Yeah, well, they're not gonna.
Who's to say? Who's to say who wrote it?
Who's to say it's it's good either way, I think. If Jameer used AI, if I could use AI to attain that power, that kind of prose power,
yeah,
I'd do it.
It seems worth it.
When I use AI, which I've never actually done, have you? I've never used it for anything like this.
Not for something like this.
I don't know. It's ended up on Google is what I mean. Like I search something and it comes up.
Yeah.
But yeah. But if it could make me sound like Faulkner, if it make me sound like that, give me that kind of poetic genius.
What have we been doing all this time? I mean,
wasting our lives.
Absolutely. So, let's talk about who we are.
1, 2, 3. This is the insufferable. Welcome to the Insufferable Bastards.
Welcome to the Insufferable Bastards podcast.
We're the Insufferable Bastards.
So, what are you reading now?
I am reading Paul Theroux.
Oh, nice.
I'm reading actually Paul Theroux's book about Naipaul.
And how is that?
It's really interesting. It's like literary friendship is always kind of interesting.
Mm-hmm.
It's always a lot of competition involved and seedy stories about sleeping with each other's wives or screwing each other out of work or hating each other's books.
Yeah.
But these guys met in Africa in the 60s. Just completely randomly. He was in Theroux was in the Peace Corps.
Mm-hmm.
He was teaching in Malawi at some third world university. And Naipaul shows up for a year and they just became buddies. And I've only read Biswas back when James Wood was talking about how wonderful it was, and I liked it a lot. But I'm not that much of a Naipaul knower, but
no, me neither. He was Trinidadian though, wasn't he?
He was from Trinidad, and they say he inspired Jameer Nazir to the heights he hath. reached the LinkedIn height, the AI LinkedIn heights of.
I see the connection.
Do you think Nazir will come out and like make a statement? Like he'll go on YouTube and he'll be like, "Listen."
I don't know. I mean, does he exist, or is it like? Do you remember the guy who, I think it was maybe 10 years ago or something, published poetry under a fake Chinese name?
I do remember that.
And it turned out he was just like some white dude. So I wonder if there's something similar afoot here.
It got into Best American Poetry.
Yeah, that's right.
It was immortalized.
Yeah.
By that. Who was the editor that year? Do you remember the stuff about poop? It was like this scoop to poop or something.
Was that in the poem?
Yeah, it was something about tiger poop.
Oh, incredible. Incredible.
Yeah. It was the most embarrassing poem. And he came out, Sherman Alexie.
Oh, no.
Sherman Alexie came out and like defended it, saying he thought it was, at the time he read it anyway, he thought it was like an interesting comment on yada, yada, yada. I don't know. East Asian imagery and like Western ideas or something. And it was like, oh, dude.
That's
you could smell that poem from a mile away.
Oof, that's rough. That's really embarrassing.
Do you have it in front of you?
I'm trying to find it. Yeah, okay. So the poet was Michael Derick Hudson, a white male poet from Fort Wayne, Indiana, and he used the Chinese pseudonym Yi Fen Chu to get his poem, The Bees, the Flowers, Jesus, Ancient Tigers, Poseidon, Adam and Eve, published. That's the name of the poem. Yikes.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I wonder if, Jameer Nazir is actually a Michael Derick Hudson type, trying to prove a point or something.
Oh, you think maybe it's like some tech bro?
Perhaps.
And he's like, I'm going to show the world.
Yeah.
Here's the quote I was thinking of.
Yeah.
The Colosseum. Here, sir, that's the very place Jesus wept. This is from the poem.
Yeah.
The Colosseum sprouts and blooms with leftover seeds pooped by ancient tigers. Poseidon diddled Philomel in the warm slap of his ankle-deep surf and the dying stings of 1,000 jellyfish. There, probably atop yonder scraggly hillock, Adam should have said no to Eve. Beautiful.
It makes about as much sense as the serpents in the grove.
Isn't that interesting?
It is.
Isn't that interesting?
If you were going... Wait, I have an important question. Sorry. If you were going to publish under a fake ethnic name, what would you choose?
Oh, God. Muhammad.
Perfect.
I have no idea.
Yeah, no, me neither. I feel like I think my name should be sufficiently ethnic, Alana
Shubak?
Yeah.
Shubak is what?
Well, it's German Jewish.
Yeah. Does it mean anything?
Yeah, it does. It has something to do with living near a dirty creek. I'm not kidding.
That's beautiful.
Thanks.
Does Alana mean anything?
My dad's name is Alan, and I was just named after him, I guess. They tacked on a couple extra letters. So That's it. Yeah. Yeah.
Daughter of Alan of the Dirty Creek.
Exactly. It sounds like a Game of Thrones kind of name.
It doesn't suit you. You're not a Dirty Creek kind of person, I don't
No?
I'm not getting that. I'm not getting that from you.
I actually did grow up near I grew up near a canal that was pretty disgusting, so
yeah.
I don't know.
Tell me something about your upbringing.
So yeah, I grew up on Long Island, the South Shore of Long Island, and if you're a student of Billy Joel, he said when you're from Long Island, you either date a rich girl from the North Shore or a cool girl from the South Shore. So
that was you.
That's me. Yeah, but near a dirty creek, also near a massive landfill that was and they built our middle school right beside it. and there would literally be like sewage in just all around the school and on the grounds. It was just a feature.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
The picture you're painting is worthy of Jameer Nazir's next hit story.
I mean, if they want to uplift someone who came from just literal trash, that's me.
It couldn't have been all that bad, though.
No. It was fine. It's a good place to grow up. I mean, I couldn't wait to get out of there, but
yeah,
it's certainly worse places.
Yeah, New Hampshire is like beautiful, but it feels like I don't know. There's an attitude there.
Oh, yeah. We'll live free or die.
I had to acclimate to myself to like looking people in the eye and saying things like hello and good morning once I left, because it was like,
oh, wow. Wow.
It's like a state of like 4 people. They're all 3/4 of them are alcoholic.
Yeah.
But it's beautiful. I mean, it
is beautiful. I've been there. It is beautiful. It's like a very rugged kind of beauty.
And like if you've been to Vermont or upstate New York, it's it's mountainous, it's green, there's skiing, there's lakes.
Yeah.
But I too wanted to get out of there.
Yeah.
Paul Theroux is big on that. He was like, it's so funny. Listen, he's like 98 now or something. Not quite, but he's very old.
I didn't know he was still alive.
Yeah, he was born in 31, I think. So however old that makes him.
Wow.
He's like, the way he talks is like, he's very Medford. He's got like this mid-Atlantic, like a Massachusetts thing going on. I can't quite do it. I would need to practice his accent.
Yeah.
But he's like, he almost sounds professorial, but he repeats himself a lot. And he's like, you can't just stay where you are. You got to go out and travel. That's how you write. How does anybody write? They have to leave. They have to get up. They have to go. You have to go. So you have to travel. You have to travel. And that's how I felt. It's like he left and he went to college and then he went right to Africa.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't even wait for college. I just left high school early. I graduated a year early and I was already traveling. And I went to college a couple of years later.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, man, leaving home is physically or emotionally, whatever.
Right.
Some separation like that has to happen. But speaking of youth.
Yes.
You and I also read a book.
We sure did. Pan.
It was called Pan.
Pan by Michael Clune. And you have recently panned Pan on your Substack.
Name for a book.
Yeah.
Appropriate name for a book begging for a pan. Yeah, I wrote something about it. So you tell me, give me a thought or two on this book.
I was very excited to read it. I'd heard many, many good things. I usually don't read a ton of contemporary American fiction.
Mm-hmm.
And when there are books that get a bit of hype, I usually like to wait a little while before I read it and see where the dust settles. And it's like, are people still talking about it a year or two later? But so I think it was published just last year. And I was intrigued by the premise and, the mythology aspect of it and the perspective of a teenage boy who comes down with a panic disorder that's like really crippling. So I was pretty into it at first. I really enjoyed the first, I don't know, maybe like 100 pages. I was well into it before I started to go, uh-oh. And it felt like it went off the rails at a certain point, and almost like Clune just ran out of steam, ran out of story. And I was bummed, I don't know, whatever happens, whatever kind of explosive moment there is, it's entirely like off stage. The protagonist isn't present for it, and he never really even finds out what went down among this group of friends that he bonded with for a while. And whatever insights he gains into his own psychology just felt really muddled.
Was he was brought up Catholic, right?
Yes.
Did you feel any of that in the book? Was it because there was a lot of like Catholic voices coming out and being like, he's our guy.
Right. Yeah. And I was interested in that too. I mean,
but
that was happening for a while. The panic attacks he have this sort of ecstatic quality that to me at times felt kind of like religious experiences.
Mm-hmm.
But that kind of petered out too, and it just didn't really build to anything. So I think it's there somewhat. There's just a lot of things that are there simmering and they never really are realized in a way that would have been satisfying.
Yeah, I found it really unsatisfying. I found the voice amusing.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I started to feel, I didn't even really think this consciously as I was reading it, but the voice, the way what he was saying was so kind of obliquely amusing
Mm-hmm.
that I just had a vision of like kind of a Salinger thing in like a different mode. I thought it was going to be, I just thought it was going to be a lot funnier, that he was kind of maybe poking fun at himself a little bit or something. Then he just gets really kind of earnest youth
Yeah.
about it. And he's like really thinking like, oh, the thingness of these objects, and trying to treat himself out of these panic attacks, and like they start this little cult, and for whatever it was he was trying to do, which is not clear to me. It seemed to me like a study of consciousness or something, but it wasn't clear what he was doing, I guess. I just was like petered out. Just when you did, I could almost feel it in the air when I was reading it. I got around page 200 and I was like, this is where Alana was also slowing down. I can just feel it. I can feel it on the page. I was like, I don't care anymore about what's happening in this book.
Yes. Same. Yeah. I could tell by the speed with which I was reading, because initially I was really like just super into it.
Yeah.
And then it just, the pages started getting heavier, like I really slowed down.
Yeah. And he sets up a lot of stuff. Like there's some event that happens. Somebody's on house arrest, one of the characters. And he even predicts that Ty's going to kill his dad. And then that doesn't happen.
It doesn't happen.
Just very disappointing.
Yeah.
And yeah, like I said, like, I don't think he knew what to do. I think the real problem is like he didn't know what to do. He had something, he had some initial oomph. And then he was like, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. And you can see it in the writing, which is why I wrote that piece that I wrote, because it was like suddenly it was just very redundant, repetitive. A lot of suddenly just a lot of repetitive cliches happening.
Yeah.
And it really I actually saw an interview with him where this guy asked if he was writing it for a YA audience, and he was like, do you think it's YA? And I was like, yeah, I think it is YA.
Yeah.
It feels very much like a YA. Or like, what is it called? New adult or something? There's some category,
No, that's a completely made up thing.
Yeah. Well, so is YA, I guess, but like.
Yeah. I mean, but I mean, because I think it feels that way from what you're saying. Like it's not treated with any humor or satire or distance. It's very much in this 15-year-old perspective, and it's all very earnest. And I think like the way that you write a novel with a teenage protagonist is you have to have some of that kind of like ironic distance from whatever that teenager is experiencing. Mm-hmm. Otherwise you're just in the voice of a teen and they're with their concerns, and to an adult reader it's maybe cute, but
yes.
Right, but there's not that much in it for us ultimately.
And that was the big trick, not to keep harping on Salinger, but that was the big trick with Catcher in the Rye, was like he had that distance, and you were learning things about Holden Caulfield from the other characters and the situations that he put himself in. And
he's funny. Holden's very funny. He's funny from
the hilarious book.
From the first lines, he's funny, and he doesn't, he's not really aware of the ways in which he's funny, but Salinger is, and
This
we are.
felt like Clune was like, I don't know, Clune and Nick were melded into some two-headed beast.
Yes.
And it
Yes.
just didn't make for an exciting reading experience.
No.
Yeah, the last 100 pages, I just was really, and everybody, like the critics loved it. People who I considered like good readers liked it. It just was, the
Yeah.
praise was sort of all over. So that's why I was excited to read it when you suggested it. And
Yeah.
it just kind of fell out. The bottom fell out of it.
Things that are getting tremendous amounts of praise, and you read it and you're like, well,
Yeah.
what are you talking about? It's like,
I wonder how many copies he sold.
I don't know. You could look at,
Do you think it was like a big seller?
I don't know. I mean, how much does any new,
What is a big seller?
right. What
I
is
don't
a
even
big
know.
seller? I remember,
I feel like it's like 1,000 books now. Or
I
something.
think it's really low. I think I read somewhere that like 5,000 copies sold is, for literary fiction, is like pretty good. I don't know. You can look on BookScan. I think you have to have an account or something. No, I don't. But
yeah, Publishers Marketplace.
yeah.
You can buy some BookScan thing.
Yeah.
But Publishers Marketplace is already $30 a month. So I only sign up for that when I feel like I need it for a minute.
Yeah. Yeah, I know.
But I'm not going to spend $350 a year.
No, I don't think so. Yeah. But we have been reading books that we do really enjoy.
Such as?
Well, so I told you how much I loved Milkman by Anna Burns, which...
Tell me. I have not read this. I don't know a thing about Anna Burns.
I really didn't either.
I read a couple of pages of it, and I sort of enjoyed what she was doing.
It's excellent. It's excellent. And guess what? A teenage narrator. She's like 18 years old.
How does she handle that?
It's not YA. I mean, well, the narrator is looking back on her teen years from an adult vantage. So I think that makes a big difference. The action of the novel is happening when she's 18, but she has distance and perspective, and the language is extremely, the sort of like syntax is really complex. The grammar is really unusual. I don't know if it has to do with her being, she's from Northern Ireland. And, the stakes are what they are. It takes place during the Troubles. And what's interesting is that there's this kind of otherworldly quality overlaid, or, like it's never named that this is Northern Ireland or the Troubles, or there's no countries named. There's no people named. All of the characters are given these sort of titles of like, well, there's Milkman, who's not an actual milkman, but he's just called that. And then the other characters are like, my first brother-in-law, my second brother-in-law, my wee sisters, my older sister, so there's this, it gives it this kind of otherworldly quality. But it's this, she lives in this community that's in the midst of this horrible conflict with itself, with other communities, with, what she refers to as the country over the water. She's never naming, the UK. And the narrator is this girl who just wants to stay out of it. She wants her own life. She wants her autonomy. She does not want to be pulled into any of these conflicts. And yet she keeps getting drawn in because of the people around her, and because the title character, Milkman, who is this really dangerous paramilitary figure, he takes an interest in her, and he starts basically stalking her. And so she's sort of forced into the midst of all of this. And so it's like intense and scary, and it's really funny. And her inner world is incredibly complex and fascinating, and the outer world is incredibly tumultuous. So there's so much that happens in the book. So it's like, yeah.
Does the milkman ever get her?
Do you want me to tell you? Well, actually, if you read the opening pages in the opening pages, he's dead. So you know from the start of the book he's going to get killed. So that's not a spoiler. But then we go back.
I mean, I don't mind spoilers. Are you big on spoilers? Do you care?
Not really. I don't think it ruins anything. But I don't want to necessarily.
I never felt that.
Yeah,
I never felt that way either.
Yeah,
I always felt. Yeah.
I think there are certain stories that are building toward one particular event, and if you know it, then it's not as interesting. But this isn't that kind of book at all. He comes very close. She's toward the end. She finally, basically, kind of just gives up. But before he can actually get her, he's killed. But it doesn't feel like a cop out by any means, and it's not disappointing whatsoever. So that she manages to do that is pretty impressive.
Is this her first book, or she's got others?
No. She has other books, but I'd never heard of them. I don't know if she's big in the UK or Ireland, or I have no idea. But she's not a new young writer or anything. I think she's in her 60s. But I had never heard of her. I think it won the Booker Prize several years ago. And I had honestly found the book, somebody left it out on their stoop with a number of other books. And I just grabbed it because I'd heard of it. And I was like, oh, what's this? And it has like a bright pink cover. It's very eye-catching. And I finally got around to reading it. I'd had it for a while because a friend of mine who I just highly respect her taste told me that she'd read it and it was very good.
That happens. That happens a lot, I think. That's how I read Buddenbrooks by Thomas Mann.
Oh, okay.
I was abroad and I just was looking for something to read and I just came across it in some hostel or something. You ever do any budget shoestring traveling?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Where'd you go?
Well, when I lived in Japan, I did that. I lived in Japan for 3 years and I traveled around Asia a lot. And I did, hostels all over Japan and Korea and Hong Kong, so I found,
Hong Kong too.
Some interesting stuff. Yeah. Yeah.
I've been to Japan, but I haven't been to too many other those kind of East Asian countries. But I was through, the closest I got was like Thailand and Cambodia. But I was in India.
I wanted to go to Cambodia. I really wanted to go. I never made it. I wanted to see Angkor Wat. But I've been to Thailand too. Yeah.
Yeah, Cambodia is Laos is probably my favorite country. Especially if you go during the water festival.
Yeah.
Every April they have this big Buddhist water festival where it's just a big water. It just turns it's a fairly self-serious procession of like Buddhist priests and they carry them on their shoulders. But everything for 10 or 20 days is just water fight. Literal water guns and water balloons.
Incredible.
Everybody gets involved and it is the funnest thing in the world.
So fun.
So you walk out of your hotel, some 5-year-old kid's around the corner and he just nails you in the head and you're just like, you're back into it. You're buying the water guns. It's just everybody's just blasting each other. And then you're sitting there trying to have lunch and it's like breaks, And I remember we got on these boats and went to this like island where everybody was just like frying fish and then like celebrating. And then, you go to sleep late and the next day it's like, you're kind of tired of it. You're like, you're like cold and wet and you're like, oh, I've had enough of this. And then you come out and then there's some kid again with like a water balloon and he nails you and you're like, damn it. And then you're like, you do that every day. And it's the funnest thing. It is the funnest. It was like the funnest couple of weeks I've had probably in my traveling life. And it just was completely random. I had no idea what was going on.
Yeah. This is one of the things about like, I feel like there's so much discourse about the age at which you have children. And I know I see a lot of people pushing toward having children younger, and kind of positioning it as a problem that people are waiting longer and longer to have kids. But man, the thing is, if you wait a bit, you get to do all this stuff beforehand, right? Like have all these adventures. And then when you have the kid and you're kind of in baby jail for a while, you're like, well, I've done some stuff,
Yeah.
I'm not like sitting here yearning.
Yeah, and I did a lot of stuff. I did a lot of traveling.
Yeah.
We actually got married in Japan. Matsudo.
Oh, wow.
Got married in Matsudo, if you know that
I
prefecture.
don't know. Oh, yes. Sure.
And I remember it was funny. We had to go to the U.S. embassy and then to the Japanese embassy
Mm-hmm.
with our U.S. paperwork.
Mm-hmm.
We go to the Japanese embassy. Our marriage certificate is in Japanese, even though neither of us are Japanese. She speaks in Japanese.
Oh, that's so
she was a
funny.
teacher there.
Yeah.
And I remember we go in there we dressed up. We go in there with our documents and we're sitting there, almost like a scene from a movie, in front of a big wall of televisions. It's like 8x8 TVs, all playing different crazy like Japanese game shows and stuff.
Oh, man.
And she goes, "Excuse me," and I go up and she goes, "Your marriage has been accepted."
Oh, thank God.
And we were like, "Oh yeah, we're married." And then we started, we had friends, and we went to a Nepalese restaurant in Tokyo. Very strange.
Oh, weird.
Yeah, we're in the middle of Tokyo. We go to this Nepalese restaurant. It was actually a lot of fun, and they had like music for us and food and everything. That's great.
Oh, that's great.
But anyway, yeah, when I was traveling in India, I think I came across Buddenbrooks, and I had like, especially when you're traveling, when you're doing like Paul Theroux travel, which is like wandering basically. It's not like tourist travel. You're like, you have these like really intense reading experiences. And Buddenbrooks was one of those where I just was like, I was just glued to this book for like, it's a big book, and I think I read it.
Yeah.
I remember just sitting around reading it for days, and just having a really powerful experience with it. Also, Les Mis by
Oh, I've never read that.
Oh, it's such a great book. I was on the beach.
I should.
I was on the beach in Varkala, just in a beach hut, just like the ocean crashing outside. It was beautiful weather, and I just read 100 pages a day and just went swimming.
Amazing.
And, I was on a motorcycle, and I met some friends there. And once the book was done, we just took off again.
Those reading experiences of like total absorption, that's really the peak, isn't it? That is the absolute pinnacle. And I feel like I don't excuse me, I don't have those as much anymore.
You didn't have it with A Serpent in the Garden?
Well, of course.
Of course. I had to read it twice to really, because I needed more.
Yeah. Yes. I know.
Didn't he have a bunch? He had a bunch of poetry too, right? We should find his little poems.
No, they're terrible. They're terrible. I saw someone posted one of them. And it just god awful. So, man.
Is it as
I
bad
don't know.
as Poop Seeds of a Tiger?
That's pretty bad.
Seeds pooped by ancient tigers. Best American.
What is best? That is.
And that was what, 10 years ago? I think that was 10 years ago.
Yeah.
It was 2014,
I think
fall
so.
of 2014.
Man.
And here we are, like, kind of whining about AI, but I'm like, somebody made the point, like, AI is trained on human writing.
Yes. Yeah.
So this junk is like trained on the worst that we can produce. And so of course it reproduces these like tin-eared metaphors and like long-winded sentences and nothing, sweet nothings they just love that fucking sweet nothing shit. They love to be like, the bench was like a man or whatever, or the night was holding its breath. Just these really hollow ideas.
Benches that become men. What is that? But I think people read it, and like maybe people who aren't like necessarily voracious readers, and maybe they read that sort of thing and go, "Oh wow, this must be something," right? Like this must be something. Maybe the problem must be with me if I'm not getting it, right? Like I suppose that's the reaction people have to that sort of writing. But yeah, it is a really unflattering reflection of us, right? Because that's what AI is. It's trained on our writing. And I think, what it's aiming to do is just trying to capture this like kind of average, like whatever the average of all that is that it's consumed. And it's a really unflattering reflection.
And that's exactly what that kind of writing is. It's the average.
Yeah.
And, Yasmin Nair was making some comments about it. She's Indian, I think. And she was like pissed. She was like, this is this is white people telling us how we should sound.
Right.
Always talking about jasmine. She has this funny stuff she was saying about like,
Yeah.
ooh, the smell of jasmine is in the air.
Right.
And he does mention jasmine somewhere in the story, and it's like, and actually Alex Perez talks about this too. There are these little nooks carved out for like ethnics.
Yes.
And you have to be suffering or traumatized or struggling against some enemy or empire or something.
Right.
In the heat with the roof moaning like a tin drum or whatever he said. The roof moans.
Like way back when I was in an MFA program, which was a really long time ago. I'm not going to say how long, but it was a long time ago. But a friend of mine who was in the MFA with me, we would make fun of the like quote unquote ethnic writing, and be like, oh, on the stove there was a steaming pot of culture, like just that kind the smells, the bubbling, culture over the, and I think that is what, like, I don't know, I guess this sort of middle brow, like liberal white literary person.
They love that shit. They want
eat it up. They eat up the bowl of culture.
The hot steaming bowl of culture. The hot
bubbling pot of culture.
They're so embarrassed. They're so embarrassed to be white and average.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, I read this beautiful book about jasmine in the Azores. You would love it.
Right.
You would love it. The people were suffering, but they had hope.
Right. They're nobility.
They were true warriors. They had hope.
Right.
And
God. It's so insulting. God, I would be so if I was a writer from Trinidad, I would be so fucking insulted.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of what the equivalent like for like if I don't know, Chinese literature became like globally the global leader.
Yeah.
And they were like writing about suffering white people or something.
Oh.
That would be a really funny experiment. Like what would that what would that like look like?
Oh, God,
you know what I mean?
That's a good question.
Like a Chinese college kid comes to the Rust Belt.
Yeah.
And starts writing about like the suffering mechanics who don't have all they know is how to build cars, and now they're just like stuck in the Midwest drinking Schlitz.
It would be a lot of cars, pickup trucks.
Yeah.
Like hamburgers.
The stereotypes.
The sizzling hamburgers on the grill, the smell of meat.
And no, that's good. That's good.
And gunpowder.
Gunpowder, like gun collecting and fentanyl.
Yes.
And like some beer like Molson or Schlitz or something.
Mm.
They'd be driving their pickup trucks and like suffering.
Yeah. Suffering.
But my friend Christian Tabordo posted an old Onion article that was called Ask an Elderly Black Woman as Depicted by a Sophomore Creative Writing Major. Did you see this? And I just saw the headline and I was like, that's going to be, I'm not so much up with the Onion anymore, but like when I was a kid, I thought that shit was so funny. I remember falling over the line.
It is.
And this is from back in the day anyway, some time ago. And the question is, Dear Black Woman, it's not even Thanksgiving yet, and my 19-year-old daughter, Amy, has already come home from college 3 times. How can I persuade her to spend more time on campus? And it says, Dear Worried, her hands were cracked. They were large and massive, too immense for her short southern frame. They were knurled and gnarled with age, arthritis, and ancient scars. Cotton husks, leather whips, briar patches had all left their mark on those swollen hands. A world of memories flowed through those veins spread across her fingers like a chokecherry tree. Those hands had seen a lot of things. Oh, these calloused hands, she told me as she rocked back and forth on the porch, the smell of sweet peach tea hanging in the air. Sweet thing, fetch me my chamomile lotion. I told Mrs. Jessup's it was time to go, that we'd be late. Never you mind, child, she say. Never you mind.
Oh my God. That's so good.
And I feel like that's literally,
That's
you know
literally
what I
what
mean?
yeah.
It's funny because
Mhm.
it's, that old Simpsons quote. It's funny because it's true. It's
Yeah.
like, it's literally where we are with this kind of writing.
It's so bad.
Especially if you
Oh,
read, I mean, the thing that got the most reads from me, at least recently, was that Ocean Vuong thing I wrote,
yeah. Yeah.
where um that book is all Jameer Nazir.
Mhm. Mhm.
That shit is
Mhm.
all Nazirian.
Yeah.
That is a Nazirian
Syrian.
style of
Yeah.
writing. The endless babble, like
Yeah.
the just the bloviating.
We need to stop poets from writing novels. They must be stopped.
First, we got to stop poets from writing poetry.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
Oh no, go on.
I
Go on.
saw Ocean Vuong read. So it was the Center for Fiction first novel prize a few years ago, and he was, I guess, nominated for what was that? On Earth We Are Briefly Gorgeous.
Beautiful title.
So true.
So
true.
beautiful.
And so yeah, and I was a Center for Fiction fellow at the time, so I got to go for free. And yeah, and so like, and I remember being like, I didn't know anything. I hadn't really read his work, but I knew he was like super hyped and he was like supposed to be incredible. So I was like, oh, and and my husband went with me, and I was like, oh, this guy's like really big, you know? And after he read, my husband just turned to me and he was like, what the fuck? Like, you know, like and he was just baffled, right? And I was like, I don't know.
It's baffling.
And he's not, my husband's not a big fiction reader. And so I felt like I had to like, I was supposed to like explain it to him. And I was like, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. I also do not have an explanation for this. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and Ocean Vuong is why a lot of people don't read so-called literary fiction, because they're like, I'm going to get this bilge, this like super deluxe serving of like mixed metaphors and confusing poeticisms, and it's just gotten like really out of hand. Like it's gotten to a place where we're just like regurgitating this like tendency to, I don't know, lyricize all the time.
Right. And also people are being told this is really good writing and it's really important writing and you better fucking like it. And if you don't like it,
who, by the book police?
I guess, yeah. Yeah. That's how it feels, right? Like you better, I mean, it was so like verboten to point all of these things out until very recently. It felt like the tide really turned on Ocean Vuong and people were all of a sudden like, oh, actually, no, this is total crap. But it's like, where were you for the first book when everyone was beside themselves over how amazing it was? And then, a few of us were like, what? Oh, I guess I better not say anything.
Yeah, and all that kind of writing, I remember like that was the kind of stuff when people were like, this is why you go to MFAs, is to like get this kind of shit out of your head,
out of your system,
like write it out of your system, because everybody writes like that. Like I remember reading some of that Ocean Vuong stuff and being like, I wrote this when I was like 14, and I remember as a 14-year-old looking at it and being like, I don't think this is any good. You know what I mean? Like tearing it up. It's like even my junior high school sensibilities, I was like, I'm not going to show this to anybody.
It like seems pretty, but
it's like prettified. Has so much to do with like longing.
Yeah,
it's like I don't know. It's not. I mean, I wouldn't even call it poetic or lyric. It's just like somebody who's like a kid who's bored, like, I don't know, just scribbling out sentences for no apparent reason.
Should we talk about the stupid Guardian list?
Oh sure. Yeah, what did you think of that? I didn't look at it very closely, honestly.
No, me neither. I looked more the reactions. I mean, they do this with some regularity, don't they? Like they'll put out I feel like this happens every year almost. Like there's some list of these are the great books, and then everyone's really pissed. But how could you say this is number 2 or what? But I did see that. I saw that someone said, okay, The Guardian published this kind of list back in 2003, and it was like a superior list, supposedly.
Back in 2003, you said?
Yeah. I just pulled it up. This is what they had on their list in 2003. Number 1, greatest novel of all time, Don Quixote. Number 2, Pilgrim's Progress, rather, not Promise, Pilgrim's Progress.
Pilgrim's Promise by Jameer Nazir.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful.
Yeah,
There's
it's beautiful lyrical book. You'll love it.
a lot of benches that become men. Robinson Crusoe, Gulliver's Travels, Tom Jones, Clarissa, Tristram Shandy, Dangerous Liaisons.
Yeah. I mean, there's only so many. There's only so many places you can go. Like the best books of all time. You're going to see the same books on there.
Yes. Yeah. I
Except,
don't know.
Except this recent Guardian list where they included random shit.
Yeah.
Honestly, it just seemed like a big fuck up. Honestly, like a lot of the people they asked questions, they asked them to list the best books of all time, and they're just these kind of rando. One of them was a TikToker or something.
Right. Book
Big
talk,
TikTok
right?
book talk guy. Somebody listed The Road by Cormac McCarthy as their number 1.
No.
And I was like, it's a I know you're not a huge McCarthy fan, but like it's a fine book. It's an interesting book about a father and son.
Yeah.
But definitely not. Yeah, it's not going to be anywhere near a best books of all time list.
To be honest with you, I felt that The Road verged on YA at times.
Really?
A little bit.
Tell me.
I don't know. Just the dystopian. It just felt very like, I don't know. It's been a long time since I read it. I don't want to talk out of my ass, but it's been a long time. It's been a long time since I read it. One of the things The Guardian did on this list was just completely fuck up their description of Pale Fire, which is, I mean, one of my favorite books. But
sure.
So a metafictional delight presenting a 999-line poem by a blah, 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 blah. Critics have argued endlessly over how to read this slyly witty meditation on meaning and madness. Nabokov described it as full of plums that I keep hoping somebody will find, including a minor character named Penin and a hurricane by the name of Lolita. What? That's not in Pellfire.
What the fuck? Was that AI generated?
That's what I'm wondering. That's what they were like, Chat GPT, tell me about Pale Fire. And they're like, oh, Lolita's in that, right? Like,
are we all just going to drown in like a shit sea of like AI junk? Is that how it's going to go down?
Yeah, it's kind of looking like that.
See, I had this, maybe I still have this hope that AI is actually going to drive standards up because magazines like Granta are going to get embarrassed and they're going to actually start reading and being like, let's make sure we have a certain literary standard here.
Right.
Instead
they
of
will,
just being
they will have to they will basically have to decide what their criteria are. They're going to have to actually decide what good writing is. And I think maybe people are afraid to say it's this and it's not that.
Well, it's funny because it's always fuzzy. It's like, I don't know, somebody could, I don't really think Knausgaard was like a great writer.
Mm-hmm.
I think he could. I read some of his one of his other books, and he has the ability to be a much better writer than he was in his My Struggle.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is, he did kind of some cliche and some kind of young adult kind of perspective writing, but he did it in a way that was interesting. And so it's like he broke a lot of rules is what I'm saying. And
you can do
you
that,
have to
right?
allow for this kind of maybe this guy can do it in a certain way that works.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
No one could have predicted Tom Jones. No one could have predicted Ulysses. Nobody could have predicted pension or whatever,
Right.
like if you start to set up hard and fast rules, it's just that there is a certain kind of I don't know, spirit or energy or
Yes.
personality or mentalness behind underneath in the subtext underneath the lines
I think you
that
just feel like, oh, this person knows what they're doing and I'm like in good hands and I can sort of trust
yes,
them. Even if they're
yeah.
doing things that are like really unorthodox or rule breaking or whatever, you just have this gut level feeling of like, but I'm in good hands and I trust it,
And the
you
turn to
know?
lyricism, I feel like, is like an abdication of that. It's like
Yeah.
I like lack confidence in myself.
Yeah.
And so I'm gonna be like
Pretty.
overflowingly poetic and pretty to
Yeah.
kind of basically to shut you up, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
Because
But then
somebody's reading.
it's not
Yeah,
clear. That's the thing. It lacks like you need clarity, right? Like, and it's
yeah,
just that kind of writing is so muddy.
yeah, yeah. Um,
Oh, we were
and
gonna
it's all
talk about sorry, go ahead.
no, I just was gonna say it's also like, shut up, this is my trauma a lot of the time. Like a lot of the
Oh
people
yeah.
who I never read A Little Life.
Oh my, it's the worst book I've ever read.
Did you read it?
Yeah. It's
And
it's it's like the worst book I've ever read.
oh,
I
genuinely the number one worst? Because I've had people say that.
It's
One.
up there. It's up there. You should read Christian Lawrenson's review of it. It's incredible.
Oh
So
yeah, I did.
funny.
I loved what he
So
told me. He
funny.
goes, I was actually having a discussion with him, and he goes, I go, dude, Ocean Vuong is the worst writer. I'm not just
Mhm.
writing a review of Ocean Vuong because I'm like, oh, I want to pan a bad book or I want to take this guy down a peg or anything like that. It was like,
Yeah.
I was shocked
Yeah.
by how bad that writing was.
Mhm.
It attains a new level of unreadable.
Mhm.
Like it is on some other planet. It is an Assyrian, it's an Assyrian, thing.
Yeah.
And and he goes, no, dude, Yanagihira is she writes like a dog. And I was like, yeah, I know. I hear it's pretty bad, but at least, even when the few pages I read of it, I was like, it holds together. You know what I mean? Like there's people doing
Yeah.
things, you can follow it.
Yeah. Certainly
And a lot
things
of
happen in that
this
book.
Ocean Vuong and Jameer Nazir, you're reading it and you're like, what the fuck what are you doing?
There's
What are you
no
saying?
story. There's nothing actually happening. Yeah.
Yeah. It's just
Um
a lot of poetic shit.
yeah.
Um,
Well, it's just so bad. But um well, let's talk about like something good. So we noticed that there's total Saul Bellow erasure from this list, and
oh
there's
yeah.
I feel like there's generally Saul Bellow erasure, and I'm not sure why. Like, is he considered problematic or something? Like, why is he? Because so I read your piece on Bellow, and I'd only read one book by him many, many years ago. I read Henderson in this weird
Hmm.
class I took in college about post-war literature. And so then I was like, okay, I want to read some Bellow. And you told me, well, read Seize the Day. It's really short. And I thought it was, you know, remarkable. And so now I'm reading Herzog and I'm like, why is he never mentioned anymore as one of the greats? What did he do?
Well, oh man, he did so much. He is not. I personally don't care about this stuff when people talk about people's
No.
personal lives. I just don't care. I don't care if
Hmm.
Ocean Vuong is a good or a bad guy. I don't
No.
care if any of these people. I mean,
Yeah.
if the writing is, I don't care if they're racist, if they literally shot their
Right.
wives as Norman Mailer did.
Right. Right.
If they, I just don't care if the
Yeah.
work has it, if it has something in it. I just can't bring myself to. I even find it very strange when people get all uppity and worried about this kind of thing because I'm like, how could that possibly matter to you? You read a story or a book or a poem or something, and you're like, this really hit me somewhere, and I wanna think about this, and I wanna reread it,
Hmm.
and then you find out the author, I don't know, was holding children in prison in his basement or something. And I guess you can switch that off in your head and suddenly feel that his work doesn't matter to you anymore. But I just
don't know how you do that.
I have
don't know.
never felt that I've had the ability to do that. I don't think it's reasonable. I also don't think it's natural.
It's not. I was going to say it's not. I don't find that natural at all.
Yeah, it just doesn't
I
come
don't really
to me.
believe people. I don't really believe people when they say that.
Oh, you think they're just full of hot air on that one?
Yeah, I think they're just saying what they think is the moral position to take.
They want to showboat like morally, you think?
Yeah, I don't know. On some level.
Or
how
like maybe fit in with their like peers or something?
Well, how do you deny when something had that effect on you? How do you just erase it?
Yeah, I don't know. I can't.
Kidding.
Yeah, I don't know. But the story with Bello was that the very first thing was he wasn't a good guy. And even his contemporaries, like through, I don't want to make it sound like I know these people too well, but through things like Substack, you can end up having conversations with with certain folks. And one of them was Jerry Howard, who's an editor at one of the big five. And I wrote that piece, and he actually responded to me. He sent me some messages, and he was like, nice try. He's like, Bello was a bad guy. I know more stories from James Atlas and the other people who wrote books about him. Zachary Leader also wrote a big two-volume biography. The guy was mean, he was manipulative, he was selfish, he was misogynistic. And having been born in 1915, I just think a lot of that is to be expected.
Yeah.
And also, when you're a writer, I mean, we all like to pat ourselves on the back these days and say, "Oh, we're such a wonderful generation of MFA goers and writing group havers that we don't actually compete with each other." But that's all baloney. That's just a cover for the same shit that's always been going on in the writing world.
Yeah.
And these guys were they were friends, they were friendly, but they were also trying to get somewhere. They were ambitious. And so a lot of these stories kind of remain in the darkness. One came out last year around the time I published my piece about how he was abusive to his wife, one of his 5 wives, which is another indicator of, things sometimes.
Yeah.
But some suggestions of like physical abuse. I don't know how much evidence there was. I don't think it was routine physical abuse, but it certainly wasn't nice. And I think it contributed to why they split up. And there's these letters that kind of describe it. So, just a competitive, edgy guy, very defensive. I also, I listened to a podcast where this guy was his assistant for a while, and he actually went to this young college guy. He was like 80 years old at the time, and he was like, "Will you read this and tell me what you think?"
Wow.
So a sort of sense of insecurity, even at that age, after he'd achieved all he had achieved. It was like the 90s, and he's like, "Hey, tell me what you think of this." And of course he read it and he was like, "Oh, this is, what's this college kid going to say?" Right. He's like driving him around in a car and he's like, "Oh, I think it's so amazing, Mr. Bello,"
Yeah.
But like a sense of being strung tight, defensive, really smart and verbally intelligent. So just really able to cut people down, personally a difficult person. Then there's potential. A lot of people say his female characters aren't like full or rounded or humanized or whatever. But I think if you read him, and you can tell me what you felt in Herzog, because it's obviously about his ex-wife, so it's a big kind of emotional revenge thing in some of his writing, which is also another issue for him. So he wrote about a lot of people he knew, his ex-wives, painted really ugly pictures like he does of his ex-wife in Herzog. People got really upset, taking people's stories, using them. People getting upset about that. Another thing I don't care about, because you have to use what you have.
That's what every writer does.
It's something that every writer has done. So there's all this stuff. It's building up over years. And then as all of our media touch points are expanding, and we're always like first radio, then TV, then internet.
Yeah.
We have this more and more massive awareness of too much stuff. So by the time the 80s hits, people are kind of like are more up on these backstories of Bello. And then he says this thing it's a really small thing in a really like corner of the New York Times, where he said something like, "Where is the Tolstoy of the Zulus? Show me the Tolstoy of the Zulus and I'll read him." The implication being that he would read the Tolstoy of the Zulus. That's what he meant when he said that.
Right. Right.
So, and also he was an anthropologist and he had been to Africa, especially when he was doing research on Henderson. But the way it was taken was it was 100% a racial comment. Like the Zulus could never have a Tolstoy
they could never produce. Right.
They could never produce this kind of art.
Right.
So even though I'm iffy on that one statement, I do think being a guy born in 1915, growing up in Chicago, I'm sure he was racist. I'm sure he had racial views, all kinds of stuff that we would find repugnant. But by the time this comment was made in like the late 80s, it just followed him until he died. So he has this background of misogyny. He has this background of being cruel to his friends. There are these stories. And then there's the Tolstoy of the Zulus comment. And it's like, it follows him until 2005 when he dies.
Right.
So and that's, that's the identity politics.
Right.
Or rather political correctness era, the 90s. And I don't think anybody expected it to like kick up a notch after that. But it did. Because we hit the woke wars after the 2000s.
Yes.
And it was like political correctness times times 10.
Yeah.
And so whatever professors in the 90s and 2000s that were teaching him still probably just gave up.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's really sad because, first of all, I've had two instances of friends telling me, I suggested them to read Bello, and both of them went to the library, and all the Bellos were checked out. These are like big library systems.
Interesting.
One of them was in New Jersey.
Yeah.
It's like a massive New Jersey library system where he could go online and get a book from any library. Couldn't get a single Bello. All of them out.
That's interesting. Yeah.
And it happened again with another friend of mine. So what that tells me is that people actually are reading him.
Yeah.
They actually are.
Yeah.
Because of the word of mouth continues, because he has such a fun, almost Joycean combination of high and low. And it's so naturally done.
So fun.
It's like the street level talk with the high ideas. And it's almost like a criminal's way of rationalizing his behavior or thinking through his actions and behavior. And because of that smart combination, it's just so profound and funny at the same time. You don't really see that kind of writing really anywhere else. And so he just kind of fell out of favor. And the thing that's the big loss for me is Augie March, which I really feel like in the lineage of the picaresque, Augie March is just a big contribution. The way he wrote it, the way he what he brought to his protagonist, and how that sort of went with and against the tradition at the same time. It's a major book. It's a major piece of like American literary history, but it's never included. When you talk about major American novels, it's like they go from kind of like Twain to Hemingway, The Lost Generation, and then it's like right to the postmoderns with Pynchon.
Right.
But in between there, you have a lot of people like Gaddis and whoever else. But you have Augie March, which is just such an important book, and it's a book that brings you through the 20th century in a way. It's another amazing thing about that book is that it gives you like a tour of the 20s, 30s, and 40s. And it's just like, it's really unlike any other book. And I think there are a couple of professors who like insist on teaching some Bello, but they probably never teach Augie March. It's too big of a book.
Okay.
But because of these, there's accumulation of bullshit, basically.
Yeah.
I just think it's going to be another generation until he's like cemented his
Right.
place.
He'll be picked up again. I just, everything that you're saying about him, none of it's surprising, right?
Yeah.
When you're talking about a person born when he was, and also just like a writer of that level, like I'm going to assume that he was a son of a bitch, right? Like,
Yeah.
it's just, what do people want from these artists, right? Like, what do you think they are? They're so difficult and obsessive and self-obsessed and navel gazing and like, why is any of this a surprise? I don't know. I just feel like maybe for me as just I've always had to sort of accept, that a lot of these great works of literature that I read are going to have misogyny, are going to have racism, anti-Semitism, right? This is going to be, and I can take it in because it's this little drop in the ocean of whatever this work is that I'm reading that's like meaningful to me. And I don't know, for some reason I'm able to just like make room for it. I don't enjoy seeing it. But it's also like I don't expect more of these. I don't expect them to be heroes, right? Like,
yeah.
I don't know.
I don't even know where the calculus came in that there has to be some kind of equation of, is this person good enough a person for me to read them? I don't even know how we got there because it seems so completely stupid.
Beside the point. It's beside the point.
And irrelevant. Yeah. And also
you're not trying to be their friend.
Yeah. And it's also something we don't do with, say, musicians, for example. I mean, we might.
I think now people do.
Maybe, but like, I don't know what a lot of these film directors have done. I don't know about their lives. You know what I mean? And like, there are all these other categories, like, I don't know, athletes, say, or I don't know. There's lots of other things, but it seems like there's this big emphasis on novelists in particular, where you're like, I have to make sure I'm reading a good person. And I think it's because, a friend of mine said something really smart. He said, the novelist has created this world and the reader enters it. So it's like you're entering their domain and you're you're absorbed in their mentality, their thinking, their language. And so this gives people a kind of defensiveness, I guess.
That's interesting. Yeah.
They want to know that they are, I guess, in good hands in a way, but they don't want to. They don't want to be tainted by the immoral, the immoral choices.
Infect them.
Yeah, it is a weird, like almost like mental infection thing.
Right, like if you spend so much time inside their heads, right?
Yeah,
that you might be.
It feels a bit like it comes from TV, like because we all grew up like TV's gonna rot your brains, and I don't know how true that was, but it had some effect for sure.
Yeah,
and so maybe there was this like, I don't know, it bled over into reading literature where people were worried that books too could also, have this effect, this negative effect on you. And
it's an interesting, that's an interesting fear, because to me it just seems obvious that like while you're reading, you're still there. You haven't vanished, right?
Yeah.
Like you are in some ways in collaboration with the writer, because there's so much of it that you're filling in your own mind. Like so I don't know. You're not going to be this fear that like you're going to be almost like overpowered by them, and then you'll become corrupted in the way that they are. That's very strange. But I could see why that is something that's particular to novelists. I don't think you have to worry about that. If you listen to like a song by R. Kelly or something, you're not going to then, want to abuse young girls or something, right? Like, Right,
Right,
yeah,
but
but
that's
I
what I
don't
mean.
know.
Like, do you know anybody who's like, I'm not going to listen to Michael Jackson
Oh,
because
sure.
really? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, or people who maybe that I'm not gonna. They feel a little abashed about it. They'll admit, like, "Oh, I have this song on my playlist or whatever," but it's kind of like that. Um, but
What a
I've
horrible life. It's like you're a
a
trapped animal or
horrible.
something. You're like,
You're
oh,
trapped.
I have to
It's
avoid all these
very
obstacles.
well. It's very fear based, right? It's just fear. It's like that you're gonna
Yeah.
end up being poisoned with wrong think.
And also it's very like arrogant. Cause
Mhm,
like, who the fuck are you? Who
right.
are you? It's the people who talk about how moral and decent they are all the time that I am definitely watching the closest.
Well,
Because
that's always the way.
those yeah, those are the people who
You
are hiding
know?
something.
Well,
The people who are
it's
like people who are
always
like, I try to be a good guy and I fuck it up and but I like this writer. He happens to be misogynist, but I read him anyway.
right.
These are people who are more kind of with it and they're more like they have more humility that they are able to air like any other human being. But if you're like this uptight moralist, I'm definitely gonna be keeping my eye on you a bit more.
Well, it's
Interpersonally at least.
it's always the Republican senators talking about family values who get caught in these incredibly
Exactly.
compromising sexual situations every time without fail. It's just, yeah, the
And their
people who
and
are
their wives have all had abortions.
oh, for sure. I mean, of course.
Nearly all the
But
time.
yeah, the people who could admit to like some human frailty, that's
Yeah.
much more
Exactly. Yeah.
trustworthy, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you can have some amount of comfort with mistakes you've made and,
Yeah.
you know, whatever, bad beliefs you've had in the past. But yeah, I feel like maybe it's always been with us in some form or another.
Mhm.
It's just particularly acute. Do you feel like it's fading a bit? Like,
I
are we
don't
more able
know.
to be like this Jameer Nazir guy? What a joker!
Yeah.
Maybe 10 years ago we wouldn't have been able to even say that. I
Yeah.
don't know.
I
Maybe,
don't
or we
know.
couldn't. Maybe we couldn't have said that about Ocean Vuong because when I published that Ocean Vuong piece, I went from 0 to 60 with that thing.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
not known
People
on
were
Substack.
waiting
I
for
mean,
that. People were waiting for
literally
that.
tens of thousands. People
Yeah.
still reading it. People still reading it because it hit a nerve. And I
Yes.
don't think 10 years ago we could have really openly said this kind of stuff.
No, I think that's true. I think it is becoming a little more okay to just say the thing that everyone's been
Mhm.
thinking. And not trying to be an edgelord, not trying to be anti-woke, nothing, but just to like, hey, this is clearly the truth, right? Why are we tiptoeing around? I think it's a little easier to do that now without immediately being you know, like made persona non grata or something like that for being problematic. So, but I don't know. I'm always afraid it's going to snap back again.
Me too, honestly.
Yeah.
Me too. I feel like if it, I kind of feel like a Democratic president's inevitability in 2028, maybe.
God, I should certainly hope so. I mean,
Who knows?
Vance,
I don't think Vance is.
yeah.
They say Rubio, but I think Rubio is more of a chud than people realize. Like he's not very.
Do people even really like him?
They do. They feel like he's more. He's more fit. He's more presentable. He's
Mm-hmm.
more like respectable.
Mm-hmm.
Vance has this, that meme of the fat face
Oh yeah.
kid Vance that goes
Yeah.
around.
Yeah.
He has this kind of churlish potbelly doofus
Yes.
ex-liberal kind of reputation. And even kind of somebody who's too big for his britches because I think he went to Yale or something.
Mhm.
That was in his whole history. I didn't read that book.
Oh God,
that book he
no.
wrote. But I think Republicans feel like Rubio is more he's more like mainline
Mhm.
respectable Republican.
Mhm.
But he's kind of a doofus also.
Yeah.
And not in the magical way that Trump is. Trump has
No.
some kind of weird charisma magic.
He
And I don't really
does.
know how effective a Rubio will be. But anyway, I think if we get like a Democratic president in 2028, there could be a snapback.
Yeah.
But what I'm hoping is that, and I think it's possible, people are just really fucking tired of it. I remember having arguments with people just about book lists.
Mm-hmm.
Like I had some list. I can't remember if it was David Bowie's book list or something, but people were all mad about the guy had just died.
Mm-hmm.
And they were like, look at this list of David Bowie. It's just all white guys. And I was like, the guy's dead.
my
His
God.
wife was black. Are you
Yeah.
getting people out of your minds, you know? And like, you know, people being really like mad about it.
Yeah.
And I don't see that level of, I don't know, angst over it anymore.
People are too worn out, I think, to get exercised about something like that.
Yeah.
I think. Although people are pretty mad about the Guardian list, so I don't know. But they're mad about it for different reasons. It doesn't seem like identity reasons. It seems more just like this isn't a very good list.
Do you know any Gen Z age people? What's your feeling about? Because the whole thing with them is like they're nihilist conservatives or something. Like they're all like Trump, or that's what I've heard. That's not the impression I have, because I know people in Gen Z too.
Well, I'm in New York, so it's like a weird bubble. I don't think these are representative Gen Zs necessarily. Although there is this whole, I don't understand anything about this like scene, this micro scene that gets a lot of press coverage, and it's supposedly Gen Z conservatives. I don't know. I don't care.
Oh, you mean what's it called? Times Square?
Yeah.
Well, you should go down there.
No,
you should go down there for the podcast with like a pen and notebook.
Do some research.
Hey, kids.
Man on the street research.
Exactly.
I have to tap back into my like reporting skills.
That would be so funny. Hey, kids.
No, I'm not super plugged into Gen Z. I don't know. I feel like they might just be a lost generation, because we did this big like science experiment on them, or we're like, what if we just let them grow up with their phones attached to their faces 24/7? Let's see what happens. And it turns out it wasn't very good. And now there's all this scaling back. You know, we're not going to have phones in the schools anymore, right? But they're the generation that were sort of the experiment, the guinea pigs. So I just I feel a bit sorry for them, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know. What do you think? Yeah.
I never pay attention to polls or whatever.
Yeah.
Because it's just, I don't know. I feel like they're always like, when the millennials get into power, everything, you know, socialism is going to be a much bigger deal or whatever. But I'm like, you know, dude, everybody, I don't know. I'm sure they said that about the boomers too, because the boomers were out in the street doing the hippie shit, and then they gave us Reagan.
Right.
So I don't have any feeling that the polls actually matter all that much. All I know is what I see, which is that, you know, I live in this neighborhood. It's kind of a tight knit neighborhood. A lot of kids, like a lot of kids in the suburb I'm in. A lot of schools, and what I see are kids being really active and engaged with each other. I see them reading all of the time, reading paper books. Like they have the machines, like they have the Apple Watch or iPad or something. But there are a couple of kids who, you know, we have these parties where all the parents and the kids are there. And there's just like one or two of the kids will just be like reading a book.
Oh, I love it.
Before dinner or after dinner or whatever.
Yeah.
And they read like, I don't know how many a year. Like these kids are just reading like crazy. And the other thing is that they're really distrustful of social media. They're just like not on it. They don't want to do it because they're like, somebody's going to take a snapshot of my tweet or my picture or I don't even know all this, whatever social media they're on now. It's like, I'm totally ignorant of, but like, it's like dangerous. You could get in serious trouble, and then you're going to get made fun of by your little peers. And so they just kind of, you know, you say the wrong thing.
So, you know what would be a beautiful thing? If phone addiction and social media addiction just became associated, young people associated it with their embarrassing parents and wanted nothing to do with it. And I could see that happening because, you know, like I'm addicted to my phone. We're all addicted to our phones, and maybe our kids will grow up being like, oh, you're embarrassing. and they will be very analog in reaction to us. Wouldn't that be a beautiful thing?
We should impress our insufferable bastardness on them.
Yes.
And it's like, my mom had a Blackberry.
It was like a raspberry.
No, it was pre-Blackberry. What was it? It was like it had like a little wand that you used. You know what I'm talking about? Was that the Blackberry?
Know. That's the Blackberry, I think. Yeah.
It was like the first Blackberry because it had this little like.
Yeah, they used to call it the crackberry because people were addicted to that.
Yeah. And so we should. And I remember that being very lame, and I was like, I don't want to do that. I actually didn't get a cell phone until like way late in my life.
Yeah.
Like I put it off forever.
Yeah.
And it's funny to think back to all the stuff I hated. Like I hated being on group text, and I would just tell people, I'd be like, please take me off this group text. I just hate getting all these alerts.
Yeah.
Like, and how different it is now. Like I get all these alerts all the freaking time on Substack. It's just like, so yeah, I hope maybe you're right. Like, we should just stick with it for the good of the kids. We'll stick with our phones, sacrifice ourselves, throw ourselves into the fire of AI. We should just get really into AI, start writing our books that way.
Yeah. And then they'll be like, ew.
Yeah. Hey, son, why don't you just use Claude? Dude, how about just use Claude?
And they're like, stop saying Claude. Stop saying Claude, Dad.
Don't use a pen and paper. That's lame. You should get on your computer and use Claude. They'll be like, no, thank you. I'm going to go travel the world and like do something real. And that's how we can.
That's how we do
We
it.
can save the children.
Save the children. On that hopeful note for the future, should we wrap this up?
Let's wrap it up.